Well, I'm getting ready to install some LED lights on the back bumper of my truck. I end up towing a lot of stuff. I move my tractor a lot. We have a camper, I have a large box trailer, I have a small box trailer, and inevitably I end up hooking up and unhooking at night, especially in the wintertime. We're gonna get these opened up on the bench over here. I'll show you what they look like, and we're gonna get them mounted into the back bumper of my truck, and they'll get wired into my upfitter switches, which this is a 2016 F350, and it has 4 upfitter switches in it. So we've got the mounting hardware. We have a template, a cardboard template that comes with this. So this will make life easier when we go to drill holes and cut a hole in the bumper. And then we have the 2 light pods. So these are flush mount LED lights. They have 4 rows of 4. They're a flood slash spotlight. They've got the cooling fans and the wire off the back. We've got 2 of those. You get a couple vertical lines for measurement purposes. That I know that if I line up this edge with that line and this edge with that line, I know I'm square, so the light's not in here crooked. So I've also reached my hand up behind here and made sure there's no wiring for the sensors or anything else interfering with this light in this position, and there's not in that look. So I'm going to go ahead and line this up. So we've got our square drawn here, but we're going to use a center punch to do all of our holes. We're going to start with a 1/4 inch bit, and we'll also do these other ones with 1/4. Time to pull off the panel under the steering wheel to get to the upfitter switch wires. This is the wiring diagram for a 2016 F350 for the upfitter switches. There's a bunch of stuff represented on here, and there's a couple things that are not. So real quick, this represents the primary fuse panel inside of the engine compartment. This represents the secondary fuse panel, that is the body control module. We have 4 power sources coming from 2 different locations. These first 2 come from the primary fuse panel, and they are 25 amp upfitter switches. These 2 come from the secondary panel, and they are a 10 amp and a 15 amp. All 4 of those wires come down to separate relays. This relay controller box is located under the dashboard to the left side of the steering column. You have to remove the trim panels to get to it. This box represents the actual upfitter switches themselves, and that comes out to some power sources and some other things. It's important to understand this and to know what you're looking at here. Realize that this yellow, red, white red, and brown red wire are all wires you can't get access to. They come from the panel, from the control panels to the relays. You don't have access to any of that. What you do have access to is what you will find under the dashboard is from the back of the relay, there are a yellow, a green-brown, a violet-green, and a brown wire. And those are, as shown on this picture, just dead-ended underneath your dashboard. You'll also find a bundle of wires that's easier to get to that has at least a dozen, if not 18 wires on it. And in that wire bundle, which are just dangling under your dashboard, which we'll see in a second, you have a green-orange, a brown-white, a white-orange, and a white wire. Those wires, along with a lot of other wires, go through your firewall and into your engine compartment. Those wires, those 4 wires specifically, you need to make sure you identify correctly, and you should probably do a continuity check to validate that you found the right wires inside your engine compartment. Because in my case, I'm running a separate power source from the secondary control panel through a wire you can't see to the relay. The relay then goes to the switch, which is in your dashboard. When the switch is flipped, it throws the relay. The relay now sends power down this wire, which will connect through the dash. So we'll say that this line, or not lack of line, is your firewall, going to this wire, which is the white-orange wire. The white-orange wire now will connect to the black wire, which is the new wire I installed, and the black wire runs to the back of the truck, to the tailgate, to the bumper, and will turn on the LED lights that I am installing. These 4 wires are not represented on this wiring diagram, and I had to figure out which ones went where. And I will show you where these are all located on the truck now. So first of all, we're going to go into the engine compartment behind the primary, physically located behind the primary fuse panel. So there is these 4 wires. So let's go look at those. So up here, I have removed the primary fuse panel cover. So this is the primary fuse panel. And back in this, down here, these 4 wires, let me grab the back one, were taped up underneath, or taped down to the wire. This wire comes through your firewall. And these 4 wires were folded over and crammed way down inside of there. I had to get down there and pull on them and break them loose and bring them up here. So these 4 wires, which are the wires that I showed you on my drawing, are the brown, white, white, gray, orange, and white, orange wires. So those wires go down and back through the firewall, and they come around my truck. Well, we'll come around my open door. So up under my dashboard, and you can see I have this bundle of wires. These are the other end of those 4 wires I just showed you. So we have to find all those wires in amongst all of these wires. So for example, right here is the white wire. So I'm going to get these separated out because we need to connect the upfitter wires, which are here, to those wires. So way up in here, which is really hard to get to, which is how I cut my hand, these 4 wires were tucked up inside of there, and I was able to pull them out and get them down here. They're not very long, so it's going to be a trick to get this all wired together. But we're going to pick the right 10 amp wire, which is on the color-coded diagram. So I've traced the wire through the firewall, and I know that this single wire right here is the wire that I'm going to use on the other side, and it is the brown-white wire. So the rest of this bundle of wires, I'm going to zip tie back to the... Alright, so that leaves our one wire here. Violet green wire is the one we're going to use. Not a lot of room for error here because of how short these wires are. Put these together. Okay, connection made. Now that we've got that connection made, we need to get it back up out of the way. The only thing left to do under the dashboard is actually put the trim piece back in place. These were a pain in the butt to find. They were buried way back inside it. I couldn't even see them. I had to reach down there and feel them with my hand and then break them loose. But the point is, we need to get my new wire run down inside of here into underneath the truck. Pushed it down through here now, we'll be able to get it routed. Well, we're going to go under the hood now and make the connection from the wire that comes through the firewall into the engine compartment, and that runs up to the relay. So we've got our connection made. We pushed our wires back down out of the way. This wire is zip tied about 3 inches down right here. And there, we're gonna just push this wire right down here. So that finishes up in the fuse compartment, or in the engine compartment. So I've routed all my wiring. This is the ground wire. And we're gonna tie it into the ground wire for the towing plug. My other wires are coming out of that hole. They run through the bumper, come to here, and come down. And we're gonna hook up, you can see the green ground wire here. We're gonna hook up this ground wire right into this group of wires. Now it just so happens that the white wire is my ground on this. I've checked it in my instruction owner manual. And we're gonna use a connector that I know how much all of you guys love so much. Is one of these guys. Bam. I know how much you guys love these things, but you know what? As much as everybody hates these or loves to hate them, they're used on millions of trailers and vehicles all around the world all the time. And you know what? They work just fine. So get off my back. I've got my ground wire. We need to get it hooked up to this white wire. There she goes. Now we need to cram our other wire down in there. Just like so. So we're going to start wiring up the lights. So we have 2 black leads. One comes from the light over there, and the other one goes up to the switch in the cab. And then we have 1 ground, which is now 2 grounds. And those grounds are going to go, one from the light over there, over here, and then this backing ties into the ground we just hooked up. The reason I hooked up that ground first is because when I go to wire these lights, I want to be able to test them before I finish soldering them off. So we're going to go ahead and strip all the wires and connect them all before we heat shrink them. Strip them. All right, we are going to use heat shrink connectors, these guys right here. So I put the key in the ignition and I have turned on the upfitter switch that I believe we have connected everything to. So we're going to go ahead and touch the wires against the ground, which should be the red wire, I believe. And then the hots, maybe the red wire goes here. There we go. So I know the red wire needs to go to the black, and the black is going to go to the green, and that will make our lights work. Okay, so we're over our connection there. I'm gonna save you guys the hassle and not show you the next one, but we'll go from there. Well, I am wrapped up installing the lights on the back of the truck. It went pretty well. The only minor issue I had is I ended up touching the wires against the bumper, which shorted out the fuse, so we had to replace the fuse. But overall, it went really well. So check out the link. I'll have a link down for these lights in the description. So we started off, we marked out the bumper, got the holes cut for those, got the lights kind of generally where they belonged. Then we started running the wire. We ran from the front all the way to the back. On this truck, this is a 2016 F350, there are upfitter switches in the dashboard. I'm going to show you those in a few seconds here. I'm gonna go ahead and open the door up here and go ahead and flip on the light, and you'll see that they come on. And we'll do a little nighttime test. We're gonna go flip them on for right now and take a look at them. So right there, these are my upfitter switches. And the third one over is now on, which in turn turns on the two lights. Well, as you guys just saw, the lights work really well. Really happy with them. That's pretty much going to wrap this one up though. In any case, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you got something out of this. Hope you learned something. Definitely hit that subscribe button. It always helps me out in the long run. Check out some of these other links. I'll have my garage series and the camper series. And until next time, thanks for watching.